Welcome back to the channel, folks. Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, or should we say hola, on this happy and cheery spring day where we embark on another trek to find the next in the 50 plants in 50 days series. The word trek is very relevant today, as this is a plant which is seen and smelt by many dog walkers, trekkers and those who go outdoors as they walk upon the plant and release the fragrant smell. And as you may have guessed, today's fragrant friend is found on highways, byways and well-trampled places of compact soil. The plant that we will stumble upon and find today is a member of the daisy family, the Asteraceae, and it is known as Pineapple Mayweed or Matricaria discoides. So folks, get your boots on and join me on this trek as we look at another of nature's marvels, and let's create a stink. The habitat of this plant is trodden footpaths, highways, byways and in fields, parks and wasteland. It particularly likes disturbed areas, especially those with poor and compacted soil. And whilst a relatively new or introduced species, it has become naturalised, particularly underfoot and prior to that of tarmac road. This plant has a fruity fragrance of pineapple, and it is known by a number of common vernacular names. Those names include wild chamomile, disc mayweed, rayless mayweed and false mayweed. The Latin epithet also derives from the structural form of the flowers in the daisy family, with many florets and their reproductive parts packed tightly into the capitula. The term discoides reflects the fact that the plant does not have ray florets, but instead it has small, tightly packed disc florets ordered into a conical structure situated on the capitulum known as a pseudoanthem. So let's dispel some of that botanical gobbledygook by looking at some simple diagrams, pictures and a short video to follow, which shows how the flowers of the daisy family deviate from the primitive trait and have 5 fused petals and an anther tube of 5 anthers. So we're going to start off by talking about the florets of the daisy family, and we'll begin by looking at the daisy, the common daisy, Bellis perennis, which for the purpose of the video I've picked some dog daisy because they're larger and easier to see on the camera. And what interests us are these little white things which you'd be forgiven if you called petals. Each one of these little white in inverted commas petals is actually a flower in its own right, and it's called a ray floret, as you can see from here. The area towards the centre is a very packed or composite area containing things called disc florets. And as you will see from the photographs that follow, the disc florets contain many small little flowers with stamens and styles and other reproductive parts. The main characteristic of the Asteraceae family is that it has 5 fused petals and 5 anthers, which may not become apparent to you at this stage, but you should always look at the edge of the floret, the ray floret here, both in the dog daisy and the dandelion here, and you'll see it has 5 little teeth where the petals have actually fused. So this is an example of a flower with a ray floret and a disc floret, and it's the combinations that the Asteraceae can throw up which are quite ingenious. So we've got ray florets and disc florets. In the dandelion, however, we only have ray florets. On these 2 specimens which we've met, and then this one here, which is the Pineapple Mayweed, which is the subject of the video, we have only disc florets, and in the case of Pineapple Mayweed, they are conical in shape and contain numerous disc florets in the form of a pseudo anthem, which is the structure. This other companion over here is groundsel, and groundsel also, as you can see from the general flower head here, is disc florets only. So what you should be gleaning from this is there are 3 combinations before us. There are the ray florets and the disc florets on the daisy, only the ray florets on the dandelion, and in the Pineapple Mayweed and the groundsel only disc florets. Nevertheless, they all hold the same botanical characteristic, which is 5 fused petals and 5 anthers. And when we look at the plant as a whole, we refer to this area as the capitulum, and this capitulum will be packed tightly or composite with each little individual floret. So there we have a little account of the flower structure that we see in the Asteraceae, and it's worth just going into that, as we will do towards the end of the season in the videos on each individual plant family, because if we are going to identify botanicals, we need to know the common characteristics of the family that the plant is in, and then we drill down to the genus and the species, often using keys, which are this book here by Stace, The New Flora of the British Isles by Clive Stace. But many beginners don't like using keys because they're very cumbersome. And if you don't know what a key is, it's something along the lines: does it have 5 petals? Yes, go to 7. Is it blue? Yes, go to 8. So it's a very regimented view to identifying the flower, but in some more complex species it's entirely necessary. So I hope that just explains a little bit about the flower structure of the daisy family and the Asteraceae, and that we can now proceed and just look at the general setting which we find Pineapple Mayweed in, which is a relatively easy flower to identify. And in the 50 flower series, the majority of plants that I've covered are relatively easy to identify without the necessity of keys, and there is limited confusion species to impact on the accuracy of the identification. So this is just a little spread, very quickly again. Ornamental Senecio, which is got disc and ray florets. Dog daisy or leucanthum, which has both ray florets and disc florets. Ragweed, which is disc and ray florets. Dandelion here, which has only ray florets. Here we are, dandelion here. And obviously the one that we're looking at in this video is the Mayweed and the groundsel, which only have disc florets and are of that form in the daisy family. Having looked at the form of the flower in the family Asteraceae, or as it was formerly known, the Compositae, which makes sense, the composite flowers, we now turn our attention to the features and characteristics of Pineapple Mayweed, which will enable us to identify and find it in the field. Turning our attention now to the flowers of Pineapple Mayweed. As we have stated, it's a member of the daisy family or Asteraceae. The unique dome flower head or pseudoanthium is cone-shaped, and it is a low-growing perennial compact plant which has fine and feathery leaves which are pinnately dissected. It can grow up to 20 to 30 centimetres in height. So, to recap, it has a raised dome of many rayless florets, disc florets, and the compounded head and florets are known as a capitulum. Daisies have both ray and disc florets, dandelion only ray florets, and groundsel and pineapple mayweed only disc florets. In keeping with the general characteristics of the daisy family, each small floret has 5 fused petals and a tube of 5 fused anthers. The florets are tightly packed into a composite head, the capitula, as per the old name for the family, the Composites, or the Composites. The flower head, or pseudoanthium, is cone-shaped, composed of densely packed yellowish green flower tubes or corollas. Pineapple mayweed has a long flowering period between March and September. Let us take a close-up look at pineapple mayweed and allow the plant to speak for itself. Well, that's it from me, folks. Once again, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have enjoyed this video or found it interesting or educational, please like, share or subscribe so that we can bring you more in the series. So, as always folks, whatever the weather may be, get out there and enjoy it.